Hey everyone, happy Monday. I wanted to come on here and share that this Wednesday, April 8th, we will have the planet Mars. So, the planet Mars is our drive to do things, right? So, our motivation to get things done, the way that we get things done, the energy we get things done with. It's in the sign of Pisces, and it has been. Now, Mars in Pisces definitely is not a very fast moving energy, right? So, Mars in Pisces, Pisces being the final water sign of the zodiac, is not really about moving something forward. It's much more about surrendering to what is and just sort of flowing with what is, following the path of least resistance and just kind of going with the flow. And so that Mars in Pisces is going to be at the final degree of Pisces, at 29 degrees. And it's going to be in a sextile, right? So a sextile is an opportunity aspect. It means that the planet is working with another planet in a way where there's an opportunity for both planets to accomplish something. Now, Mars in Pisces will be in a sextile with the planet Uranus in the sign of Taurus at that same final degree point of 29 degrees. Now, Uranus, we can consider, or many astrologers consider, Uranus being sort of the big brother of Mars, right? So it's the more evolved energy, right? It's the wiser energy, although both of the energies are about movement and about bringing something forward. Mars is here as a personal planet to help us move things forward in a moment-to-moment, daily basis, where Uranus is futuristic, right? So Uranus is going to help us move something forward in a way that really shakes something up in the present moment so that it can ripple out and create the changes that the future is calling for, right? So Uranus is very much aware of what the future wants and what the future needs, what the future is going to require of us. And so Uranus has been in Taurus since 2018. And so that has been 7 years, right? Or actually 8 years this year in 2026. And that journey from 0 degrees of Taurus all the way to 29 degrees of Taurus in this 8-year cycle for Uranus, it has been disrupting or forcing change in the Taurus areas of our lives, right? So any planet you have in Taurus, any house in your astrology chart you have in Taurus has been disrupted by this very wise Uranus planet, right? So Uranus has been trying to get us to pretty much prepare for the future through these very abrupt changes. Now, it's been over the last 8 years, but for each of us having different astrology charts and different planets versus houses in Taurus, it does look different for each of us. Now, Taurus is a very stabilizing energy. Taurus is the builder. Taurus wants us to build from a stable foundation and build something that will last. Taurus is about our self-value, what we place value on. It's about our money, our possessions, our physical things, the earth, right? Putting our feet into the earth. That is Taurus, right? And so Uranus and Taurus, Uranus has been disrupting what we used to refer to as stable, right? So maybe it's been our relationship with our finances that has had to have a complete breakdown in order to create something that's actually stable. Whatever hasn't been stable, right? Whatever, had a false start, had a false structure to it in our lives, in our tangible lives, in our money world, right? In anything in our lives that is tangible, including our own self-worth and what we place worth on, right? Like what makes us feel worthy. All of these things have been disrupted. And Uranus and Taurus in this sextile or opportunity aspect with little brother planet Mars, right? Mars is just like, give me whatever it is and I'm going to go, right? But Uranus is that wiser, like, oh, well, actually, like, I want you to take a glimpse at your future before we decide where we're going, right? Because there's things that can't go, right? Mars is ready to take the whole train forward, whereas Uranus is just like, that train's too heavy. There's carts that aren't relevant to the future. And all of that information that we've had to come in touch with throughout this 8-year cycle with Uranus in Taurus since 2018, it has been a lot. It has been a lot for us to process. It has been a lot for us to accept and swallow that certain things need to change, certain things need to shift, that what I thought was a stable foundation actually wasn't. And I had to say goodbye to whatever structure that was not actually holding any roots or stability. And so Mars in Pisces, again, Pisces being the last final sign of the zodiac, 29 degrees being the last final degree of the entire zodiac, in this opportunity aspect with Uranus and Taurus, who is not in Taurus much longer, right? So Uranus will be moving on into the sign of Gemini, very different sign, right? An air sign, a mutable air sign, one that is more flexible, more wanting change, more movable than Taurus, that can be very stern and stubborn. And so Mars in Pisces, sextile Uranus and Taurus on Wednesday, April 8th, 2026, is sort of this final glimpse at what is no longer, right? Because Pisces represents endings. It's the final degree of the zodiac. Uranus is on its way into a new sign. It's not there yet. And that won't happen quite yet, but it's in preparation. It's happening sooner than later. And a week from this sextile, a week from April 8th, we have the new moon on the 16th, the new moon in Aries. And so Mars in Pisces moves into Aries on the 9th, the day after this sextile, right? So they're just meeting up for this opportunity, right, to kind of look at each other with a wiser awareness, to look at each other like, okay, this is what this has been about. We went through that whole Pisces retrograde period. Uranus and Taurus has been, since 2008. Like, there's been a lot that has occurred for these two planets in the signs that they're in, right? And so on Wednesday, if we are wise within ourselves, we can then look at, okay, what has this been about for me, right? More specifically, the Pisces season, right? Ever since February 18th or 19th, like, what has it been about since then? When we look back to 2018, what has it been about for me in the area of my physical, tangible world? What has had to be broken down? Where did I have to start over? What do I know now that I didn't know before? And as soon as that Mars goes into its home sign of Aries, it is sort of this, you know, okay, I get it. Okay, and we're going to go with that, right? And so if we can prepare for that this next couple of days, right? And specifically on Wednesday the 8th, I think it's going to be really helpful for us on the 9th, and then come the new moon, right? So all of these planets are moving into Aries. You know, there's this lineup, tremendous lineup of Aries planets that are all saying, okay, it's time. Okay, it's time. Yep, it's time. And so these aspects of finishing, right, such as this sextile between Mars and Uranus, we have to be present with the finishing, because the Aries energies that are present already want us to focus on the new beginning. And it's very important for us to take the time and space to be with the ending, right? And so we've talked about that a lot this year. There's been different moments for different endings. But if you're feeling some kind of grief coming up right now, you're not crazy, right? This Mars and this Uranus working together this week at that final degree of the zodiac, it's a really big awareness of the grief and what has had to shift over the last 8 years and even just this year. And so just being with that, giving yourself that space, I highly recommend it. And I'm looking forward to talking to you all about the new moon come next week, the new moon in Aries. We've just got so much initiating energy happening, and that's really exciting. And depending on your own astrology makeup, it might be more or less exciting. But on the whole, because we've had to process so much grief, it is an exciting thing to be like, okay, let's take a moment of awareness to understand what this has really been about. So I'm wishing you a graceful period of awareness of what has been, what needed to change, how you handled it, and just a little push through the door of this Aries initiation energy. Okay, I will see you all soon. Thanks for being here. Please share this video with anyone you think might benefit, and bye.